Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. This is our WWE Payback review. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and I am joined, as always, by my illustrious co-host, good friend, and tag team partner, Mr. Adam Cousins. Adam, good evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening. I'm good. Just back from Rev Pro. Great show. Great show. Good to see a few lads and lasses as well. So, and you're repping some good shirt on you are repping the shirt, and your daughter was a mascot today.
Yes, she was. She was a mascot for the first ever Dunstable Town ladies game. So it was hence why I couldn't quite make Rev Pro today. But I'm glad you and Rach had a great time. The photos you were sending across, them boys and girls don't know how to put on a bad show, mate. But yeah, we are here to talk last night, Saturday night's WWE Payback, my friend. Let's kick it off, dude. What did you think?
You know, when we said we were talking on the SmackDown pod, I know we were segueing, and then we said, but sometimes these pay-per-views are the ones, the worst one, the ones that don't look good on paper, the ones that generally over-deliver. That's exactly what it done.
This one, this was incredible. I thought it was really good. Yeah. I thought it was a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10 for me. There wasn't one match where I thought, that was crap. No. There was some where I thought could have been a little bit better. But for the most part, I thought the pay-per-view, like you and I said on the SmackDown review when we recorded it the other day, WWE have a way of doing this. You'll think that the pay-per-view is going to be terrible, and the pay-per-view is actually really good. Yep. This pay-per-view was really good. So yeah, let's kick it off, bro, and let's review it.
Let's review it. Well, it started as it meant to go on. The steel cage match, Becky, Lynch, Trish, Stratus. We were sitting there and we're like, oh, this has got to, come on, finish this feud off. And they did finish it off, but they finished it off with a fantastic steel cage. The only disappointing thing was it was a pinfall and not an escape, but you can let them off when they put on a match like that. What did you make of that one?
Loved it, bro. Yeah, I was kind of with you when we just spoke the other day. I was like, kind of want this feud to end. We all, like you said, and what we can talk about later, where Becky's off to next. But they said during commentary, this could be up there for match of the year so far for the women. I thought for the WWE, I don't know about the women, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was kind of an old school cage match. Yes. There was plenty of people trying to escape. Trish proved a big point that she can still go when it matters. We haven't seen the last of her. No way. We're going to get to the ending in the match in a minute. Yep. Really enjoyed it. The big spots were big. The Becky Lynch's move off the top rope, and the suplex off the side of as they come down from the side of the cage, just incredible. They hit all the high spots. The audience were into it within 5 minutes. You could tell that this is awesome chance we're ringing out for the whole match. Really, it was just we always talk about a start of a show and how we like to start off to a fast start. Then wow, this was it. Becky and Trish put on an absolute clinic. I loved it. I loved the ending, what it set up. I thought it was really good. Interesting to see what happens now with Becky. Interesting to see what happens with Trish. They kind of told us what they're going to do with Trish. Absolutely loved it, mate. What a great start to a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was a fantastic start, and you touched on the ending. So Zoe Stark did get involved. She tried to anyway. She did help a little bit. She shut the door in Becky's face at one point, I believe, when she was trying to escape. Ultimately, to no avail. Becky does was it a top rope manhandle slam?
Yeah, manhandle slam off the top rope. Yeah, for the 1, 2, 3.
Manhandle slam off the top rope, gets the 1, 2, 3. Then leaves Zoe Stark. Then tries to console Trish, who was palming her off. And then I think she slapped her after that, and then she ate a Z360. Which is Zoe's trademark finisher. And as you say, that kind of leads us into what's going to happen next with Trish. With Trish, we should know more on Raw. Tomorrow, well, this will go out actually Monday, so tonight on Monday Night Raw, when Monday Night Raw is on. Overall, I thought that was probably one of the best women's matches since WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Like you say, the ending was good. Be interesting to see where they go with the feud now, whether it's at Fastlane, whether they fast forward it and do it on Friday when they're in India. You don't know, because it's kind of a split. It's SmackDown and Raw guys and girls are going over to India. Do they fast track it? And that's maybe why they've done it, because they wanted a big women's match on the card. I'm sure it's Friday in India. Still haven't looked into the whole when SmackDown thing is. But yeah, do they save it for Fastlane? Have 3 weeks build? But yeah, it really did. We've been critical of the women's division and women's wrestling, and we're not been critical of the wrestlers, just the way it's been written and what they've been doing. This set a benchmark that I hope WWE stick to now, because I get it, you can't have cage matches all the time, but just for purely the way this match was built, the way that it was put together, I thought it was incredible, mate. Really enjoyed it. Great start to a show.
Be interesting to see who the producers was.
Yeah, will be. Do you know what I'd like to find out as well is how many women, like I think like Ivory tweeted out, didn't she, that because Trish paid homage to her during the match, done her finish.
She also had the Widow's Peak as well.
Widow's Peak, that's it. So I think I would love WWE to get people like Ivory and Victoria, get them involved in. It shouldn't just be stereotypical. These guys are back there running these matches. If you really want to involve the women's game, then don't just involve it in the ring. Involve it behind the scenes. You know what I mean? All we ever know in the WWE is Stephanie McMahon. That's all we really ever know from the female perspective behind the camera. It'd be interesting to see if they let a couple of the ex-WWE superstars, the great Hall of Famers, the women of this world, to put together a match. So, yeah, be interesting to see who put together yesterday's, mate. But I absolutely loved it. Great start to Payback.
Yeah, and Tiffany Stratton was showing prior to that, and we'll get into that a bit more later on. And you touched upon what's next for Becky, potentially, or at least in the near future. Straight after that, we saw the host of... Well, we actually saw him, yes. Normally we can't see him, but we did today. John Cena come out and basically was saying that he wanted to be the referee in the Miz versus LA Knight match. Miz come out, wasn't very happy. John was trying to ask him for some tips and to how to host a show, considering Miz had done it. And Miz was like, well, you got to be involved and you got to do this. And Cena was like, well, that's exactly what I am going to do, because I'm going to be involved and I'm going to be the referee. And that brought out LA Knight to a very strong reaction, thank God.
Very strong, yep.
Yeah, and that set up basically where they were going next, which was the Miz versus LA Knight, with Cena as the ref. It probably was one of the weakest matches on the card, but it wasn't because it was bad. It was just because the rest of the card was so good. For my part.
If you watch that match on Raw, you'd be like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, but for a pay-per-view that we weren't sure which way it would go, and let's be honest, no one really thought it'd be great. No. It was the weakest match, if that makes sense. It wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it was passable. And obviously they teased a few things with LA Knight maybe going to punch John Cena, and then they kind of said that Cena passed the torch afterwards with the hand raise and the points at LA Knight obviously getting the win. The ending for me was a little bit weak. It was okay. I didn't really mind it. It was, LA Knight hitting his finisher, and it was a bit sloppy at the end of the match. But no, it was good. Like we've said for 2 weeks now, I just want to see what they're going to do. Do we find out tonight on Raw what happens with LA Knight and where he goes? I'm hoping it's not a rematch, but you never know. With the pay-per-view this Friday in India, they could just throw that in there as a rematch, and Miz will want his rematch this Friday over in India. Or I'm hoping they don't think they'll do anything else, but Miz will probably come out, blame Cena for losing the match, and I reckon we could see Cena and Miz have a little something on a Raw or a SmackDown. I don't think it'll be a pay-per-view.
I think
Cena's already got his match. Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw John Cena wrestle on SmackDown.
He will definitely wrestle.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's not against the Miz, because I can just see the Miz coming out and kind of promo on Cena, and something will happen.
A good old draft, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the draft, non-draft. But no, it was good, mate. It was good. Like we've said for weeks now. Just see what happens with LA Knight, see where he goes, see what they do. They need to capitalize on it quickly, and let's hope they do.
Yeah, exactly that. And obviously Cena raise. I think he said something as well.
Your time now or something? It's your moment now. I think it's your moment now. Yeah, and then you obviously...
Your time is now.
Your time is... Yeah, I think it was something like that. And then obviously... people said it wasn't passing the torch. It was just... I think it was just... If Cena's passing the torch to LA Knight, we really are in fucking trouble.
Yeah, exactly that. Because LA Knight ain't much less younger than Cena. About 45, 60.
Exactly. But it was good, mate. It was possible.
It was possible, yeah. the other best, weakest match. And this is another one of these fantastic cinnamon toast or cinnamon crunch, whatever you want to call them, Rey Mysterio and Austin Theory. The thing with this, I think I've seen this match too many times recently. And I think he was kind of going down that predictable route again. And it did. For me, Rey Mysterio obviously come out and retained his title. That wasn't a surprise, really. I didn't expect Rey to drop the title. It's just I'm not a fan of these sponsored matches. Anyway, we had that Mountain Dew fucking match with the late great Bray Wyatt, and when Uncle Howdy totally missed the spot where he jumped off the bloody top
by a country mile.
Yeah, and then we've had this. I think we had another one at Mania. I think there was a cinnamon toast crunch match at Mania or something.
Yeah,
like that. I had another one now. Yeah, again, it was passable. I think this match was probably a little bit worse than an LA Knight Miz. But what did you think of it? And where do you think now Austin Theory? We've had this conversation Friday.
Tag team with Waller.
What's going on?
Yeah, I think he goes into the tag team with Waller for a little bit now because I think he's kind of in that transitional WWE. Like we don't have to stick or twist with you. They'll keep him on the roster just because it's who he is. I was more surprised the match was a clean finish. I didn't think Rey would get the pin. I thought there'd be some sort of interference or Grayson Waller would come down. I thought he'd retain, but I just thought it'd be a DQ. I'm very shocked that Austin Theory took the 1-2-3. It was, and amount of times that people kick out of finishes, the 619 and off the top rope. I was thinking, oh, that's it. It's done. I was a bit like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think Rey would win clean. As for Theory, mate, I think he probably will go into the tag team. Don't be surprised if it's Grayson Waller, Austin Theory on SmackDown again. That could be another Cena and another. Could be Cena and LA Knight. Just throwing it out there. Cena and LA Knight versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory on a SmackDown. If Cena's here for the next, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, don't be surprised if you see LA Knight and John Cena tag team at some stage and go up against Grayson Waller and LA Knight and Austin Theory. Wouldn't be surprised at all. So I think they'll put him down the tag rope just because they're not sure what to do with him. Realistically, what singles titles is there for him to go for? None. In the main roster? There's none. IC, no. World Heavyweight, no. US is that's just been and done. Tag team, maybe they could. I can't see them getting into a feud, but obviously we'll get into tag team wrestling in a little bit. I just think it's going to be one of them wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in NXT in a couple of months.
Back down there again.
Wouldn't be surprised, mate, if he ended up there in 2 months. Jesus, if they can do it with Becky Lynch, they can do it with him.
Yeah, and you thought of that quite nicely, actually.
Thank you. I'm getting good at this, aren't I?
You are. You are. What followed for that was a backstage skip. Kathy Kelly talking to Becky Lynch, and then Tiffany Stratton walked up and she apologized because she said that Becky Lynch was a former NXT champion and actually she'd never won the title. So it was kind of a backhanded compliment. And Becky Lynch will say, well, if I want that title, I'll come and get it. And I just might see you soon. I think we know where we're going to be going with this very, very shortly. I think we'll be seeing a certain Irish lash kicker on Tuesday nights. What do you make of WWE doing this whole sending them down? Judgment Day have been on it many, many times, and the ratings have crept up. Seth was on it against Carmelo Hayes. Baron Corbin's there all the time in a minute, which is probably good for him. And I think Ali's still there. I think he's
still there, mate. Yeah, still there.
Is this going to be like a major step down for Becky, or is this something where WWE are tested to try and get that rating up for NXT?
You've hit the nail on the head, bro. What did we say when we were segueing 1,000 times on SmackDown Review the other day? It's all to do with the big wigs. They're probably saying, hey, we want some names on this show. And I don't mean no disrespect to Baron Corbin and Ali and Dirty Dom, but you put a Becky Lynch on there, ratings will go. They're going to go up. And I know they've got a pay-per-view coming up in a couple of weeks.
No Mercy, isn't it?
No Mercy's in.
I love that. I used to love that.
I've got a feeling it's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I think it's 2 weeks Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So I'm guessing that's when Becky's going to have her title match. Wouldn't be surprised if she wins the NXT Women's Championship.
Complete the set.
Yeah, that ratings for NXT. B, Becky completes the set. She'll elevate some talent down there. She won't just be on NXT. She'll still be on on Raw. Just be a case of she wrestles Mondays and Tuesdays, and then I could probably say to her like, have a Wednesday and Thursday off on the house shows, and then you'll work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. That's where they're probably going with Becky. But it's like we said on the SmackDown show, it's all, unfortunately now wrestling is all about that, and I wouldn't be surprised if the big wigs it's on USA Network as well, right? NXT, so I wouldn't be surprised if they've said, hey, any chance of some big names coming on to the show, and WWE have gone, okay, well, you pay our bills, you know what I mean? You pay us a substantial amount of money for now until another network come and take it. That's why. So I'm surprised that I loved NXT when it was on the WWE Network only. I get why they moved it to TV, because it's easy. It's easy in it. Money speaks. I enjoyed it when it was just on the WWE Network, when the United States and Europe all had it. Unfortunately now, our friends in America, if you haven't got Peacock, you're not really watching much WWE.
I heard a lot of it on this one saying, for our Peacock exclusive members.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I think I'm going to ask, because obviously I'm out in the States this weekend, and maybe we can ask Parker. I'll ask him when I see him on Friday. I don't know if it's some sort of if you can get, I think you can get an app like Peacock TV. It's a bit like all over the world. We have it over here. I think you can get an app and you get like exclusives on there. Look at they were advertising the Kurt Angle documentary.
Yeah,
that was on Peacock. Everything WWE do now is on Peacock, and apart from Raw, if you think Raw is on USA Network, everything else they do pretty much is Peacock this, Peacock that. Imagine the money that Peacock are throwing at WWE, and USA are probably thought, hang on, we want some of this pie. Send us Becky Lynch. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with storyline telling or anything like that. So yeah, but it was good to see. I think she'll elevate the brand. I watched NXT. I watch it anyway, but I think it's going to elevate the brand of WWE NXT. And maybe now Shawn Michaels just finally realised, hang on a minute, we need to up our game a little bit down here. So maybe it can't do any harm having her there.
No, I don't think so. I look forward to it. I like it. I'm starting to like NXT again.
It's good. I enjoy it. And it's obviously it went back in the day. It was going up against Dynamite. Everyone talks about that, and Collision's going to go up against SmackDown. So I mean, Jesus, that's going to be interesting.
Collision might be on air.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, that's not after what I watched today. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. It's all, again, it all comes down to money now in wrestling. It's all about the money.
I think Pete Dunne's down at the minute. NXT doing the
Pete Dunne's down there. He's had some bangers. They've had some good matches. They've got good champions down there. They're slow, like you said. Everyone's slowly getting back into NXT. They're going the right way. I just hope they can stay on that path and don't fuck it up again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's just say they're doing NXT 3.0, change all the colours.
When you told me about they had it, was it on NXT? Remember the thing that Shane McMahon done on Raw?
Raw Underground.
When you text me that saying that's going to be on NXT, I was like,
that was really good.
I thought it was, when you originally messaged me, I thought it was going to be a weekly thing. I was thinking, oh no. As a one-off, it was okay. Match, yeah, it was all right. Jeez, remember that on Raw? Oh my god.
Yeah, that was during that pandemic era. Shit.
Bad. That was just at the end, just halfway through the pandemic that hit. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it didn't last.
No, that didn't come out of the pandemic either. It didn't make it out of COVID either.
No, must have called it on the way through.
Yeah.
Now this for me, Jesus, we're now getting into the tag team title, the Steel City Street Fight.
Wow.
We kind of said, and we had said that Kevin and Sami's reign was pretty weak, and it was. Let's be fair, it was. This match, I mean, we go back to the Usos at WrestleMania, Kevin and Sami versus the Usos. I don't think I've seen a better tag match in the WWE until last night. And I thought last night's was absolutely incredible street fight.
One of the best tag team matches I've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it was
incredible. Storytelling, everything that they done. They used the parts of the ring well. They went into the crowd when they needed to. There was people from the Judgment Day involved.
Yeah,
I think the right people won, because that's going to make that whole storyline a lot more interesting. I can kind of see where they're going now. I can definitely see Seth dropping it soon. I think you're right about obviously the cashing didn't happen here.
Yeah,
I can 100% see Damian Priest now winning off Seth. Whoever Seth, say for argument's sake, we're going to get to the main event soon, but whoever the title defense is against next, Seth will probably win. He'll be battered and bruised and on the floor. And that's when I think the cash-in will happen. So I think they'll want to get all the belts on the Judgment Day before Survivor Series. And then, like we've always said, then you're on the roll to Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Mania. That's when they can start moving I think now's the time in their heads and their minds. They slowly start moving all the pieces to where they kind of want them to go, because we're kind of heading into that stage now. Like Vince McMahon always says, around Survivor Series, in his mind, he needs to know the main event for WrestleMania. And a lot of interviews he's done, he always said, Survivor Series, I know the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Whoever's back, Triple H, whatever's going on backstage now, whoever's doing it, they're now putting the pieces in place. And the heavy part of that is the Judgment Day. But this match, mate, oh, dude, I'll definitely go back and watch it again. Match of the night for me. I thought it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's really good. And for me, the Judgment Day going over and getting the win's going to make it the division even better.
It did, and it kind of did throw a spanner in the works to what we thought on SmackDown, because the Street Profits come out, had that face-off, and you're thinking that's their next. But now this has happened. I mean,
Street Profits did say they wanted tag team gold, though, didn't they? So maybe that's where they're going to challenge next, or you know, Sami and KO will probably get their mandatory rematch, but that will probably happen on a Raw or a SmackDown.
Yeah,
and the Street Profits will probably be Fastlane, I'm going to guess.
Or could Street Profits cost Kevin and Sami, and that's the heel turn, and then they go.
That could be, and then it goes through them, and then this is kind of what me and you wanted. It's like the tag team divisions in one match. The tag team division's gone like that. Yeah. And it's flipped round. You're like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. And it was an absolute banger. Some of the bumps they took.
Oh, they swanton. He overshot.
KO. I thought he was going to break his neck. I thought he landed. When I rewound it, because I was watching it on the network this morning, and I was like, he's landed on his neck. I genuinely thought he missed the table and landed on the back of his neck, like head first. Yeah. And I slowed it down, and he was about that far away from that being very,
and he bladed.
No, it's crazy. He really did blade. One just a little bit of it, and they were like, "Oh, no, it's a Terry Funk." I was like, "This is how you do one of these matches, not the crap that we saw." Yeah. No, but it was awesome, dude. It was a bit of a throwback to a WWE don't do a lot of these matches.
It was an
anymore.
Attitude Era style match.
Yeah, it was what we used to see every single Monday night on Raw. It was incredible, mate. I hope WWE do something like that again.
Yeah, I need to see more of that. It was fantastic. Obviously, JD McDonough got involved as well. Which was again kind of plays into where they're going with him. Mm-hmm. And then when we think, oh, we can't get any, or better, or the WWE can't move the goalposts anymore. Along comes the great Grayson Waller effect. Now he does the same thing. He introduces Cody. He cuts off the what do you want to talk about. He said that you and Pennsylvania have the same thing. You both can't finish a story. So he had his little moment for a bit. And then Cody announces the big announcement, which threw me. Oh, totally threw me. The big announcement being that Jey Uso is now exclusively.
I thought of you when he said that. I was like, oh God, don't get started.
Yeah, on Monday Night Raw. So he was playing cashed his chips in. He played whatever stroke.
Yeah, I didn't quite get all that bit. It's like, what stroke has Cody got now?
Well, this is it. Maybe that was something about to do with AEW. But Jey Uso is now on Raw. And I said to you today, I said that throws up so many more questions than answers about the whole bloodline thing. What do you make of Jey Uso going to Raw? And I said to you earlier, is that going to inevitably end up in a swap with Cody going to SmackDown?
It might do. I've had thoughts on this today. I think by the time we get to Mania, you could have Jimmy in Cody's corner when he goes up against Roman. Jay, sorry. Yeah, you could have him in Cody's corner. Or he takes the title off Seth sometime soon. And that's where they go with
Priest.
Then or he takes Priest wins the title and then he takes it off him. But yeah, I was a bit like you. I was like, oh, Jesus, okay. Jimmy's on Raw. Jesus Christ. It's been a long day. Jay's on Raw. It's going to be, I think it'll be good, but yeah, what does it mean for the Bloodline storyline? It's going to be interesting because he's exclusive to Raw, or do the Bloodline now show up on Monday Night Raw? Do they SmackDown Raw?
Roman's exclusive to SmackDown.
Yeah, but are you really exclusive in anything in WWE?
You're not, but storyline purposes.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. Maybe, yes, something's going to It's going to be there over there with WrestleMania there. That's how it's going to be. And they're just going to go, and come April, bang.
Does it play into the War Games thing? Does Jay have a team against Roman, perhaps?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head, because we all know that they do the SmackDown versus Raw thing.
Yeah.
At Survivor Series.
Because they do champion be champion, which would be...
it makes Survivor Series a lot more interesting, because that whole Raw SmackDown thing is usually shit anyway. But like you say, the War Games thing, it's going to be interesting what they do. It's made Raw a lot better already.
Yeah.
Monday's going to be tonight's going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Raw. What happens? We still don't know what's happening with Cody.
No, that's it. Because he was the part.
He has a feud with him.
Yeah, well, yeah. The part of when it first started, I'm like, he's going SmackDown. That was the first thing that came in when he started going off. I was like, he's going SmackDown. And then
I thought that.
Yeah, and then Jay, and then that just, and he's got a little bit of a change to his music now. I think it was something like
the crowd. Did you see the reaction?
Well, that's the thing, and that's the thing.
Awesome, he's over, isn't he?
That's the thing. WWE playoff as well. If we said this with LA Knight, but Jey Uso's got over anyway, and he's already been over as part of the bloodline. So when you say about taking the title off of the champion or whoever that may be, he's got to be up there, surely.
It's going to be interesting what the main event of Fastlane is. The next.
I'm going to have a bit more into that, because there was something that happened at the end of after the Judgment Day. Jesus, Payback went off the air.
Okay,
they did do something.
Okay, I didn't see that, but yeah, it's going to be So it's going to be. It's made Raw more interesting. We're SmackDown, whatever the fuck that is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
For the Bloodline storyline, what they do, because obviously you got Jimmy like putting his. He wants to be back in I don't know if Roman's scheduled for is Roman scheduled for India?
Nope.
He's not.
No.
Wow. They're taking him that, and they're not taking
Seth instead.
Not taking Roman to India.
Nope. But it's not on TV, is it? So
I know, but I thought they would have, at least treated him to having Roman Reigns there, even if he doesn't really.
Well, not that I'm aware of.
That's just a surprise.
Cena's there. Cena's there.
Yeah, but they won't see him. That's so easy to do. No, it's good, mate. I was like you. I was shocked. Yeah, Grayson Waller's probably going to be involved somehow.
Who ate a super kick, by the way? Sorry, that was part of that. He did eat a super kick in the end.
Sold it well, to be fair to him.
He did.
Yeah, sold it. He could go into a feud with Cody, and that could be the lure to get Cody to SmackDown. I don't know. There's so many ifs and buts. I think by this time next week we'll have this time tonight, Monday Night Raw is going to tell us a lot. Yeah. By the time SmackDown's finished this weekend and we've sat down and chatted about it, we'll know more.
Does Jay go off the Cody?
That's what that could happen. He could come out, introduce him on Raw. It's good to see Jay on SmackDown. Blah, blah, blah. They go, bam, super kick, done. We're off to the races. We're off to Fastlane.
That's Cody's next chapter.
That's Cody's next chapter. He's going through technically he's going through someone in Romans, in the bloodline. Then he might have to go through. I reckon he could face Jimmy at some stage. He could face Solo again, and then by the time we get to April, there's only one man left for him to face and win the WWE.
The final boss.
Final boss. Yeah, it's a bit like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting, mate. Interesting.
Yeah, and another match that exceeded expectations for me come next, which was Rhea versus Raquel. I thought that was actually really good. A lot of powers in there. Quick, yeah.
Really quick. And it was good, but it was like you blink and you missed it. Unfortunately, that's where they're doing a lot. If you think what we've spoke, God knows how many times, whether it's Raw or SmackDown or a pay-per-view, Natty Neidhart or anyone else that she's going up against, her matches right now, I don't know what the reason is. It can't all be TV time. It can't all be, let's just get her in another 6, 7. What was that match Saturday night? 9 minutes? 8 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, like that. It wasn't long. My tea was still warm by the end of it, and I just made it at the start of the match. That's how quick it was. That's the only downside to her at the minute. They're kind of putting her in all these squash matches. Again, she picked up the win. It was good for what it was. It was a good match. Again, we need to see Raw tonight to see what happens with her. Do they put her in another feud? Is it still a whole Judgment Day thing? You think as we get closer to the Survivor Series, does she have a team against another female faction-y throw together, Raw girls versus SmackDown? I don't know how it's going to work. I doubt they'd put her in that kind of situation because she is Judgment Day. Is she included in the Judgment Day team? Do they have something at Survivor? It's going to be interesting to see what they do with her. I'm hoping they start to ramp it up now because Becky and Trish proved that you can do it. You can put on these 5-star matches, and I'm sure if you put her in that situation and chucked her in a steel cage against Trish, Becky, she would have had the same 5-star match. So yeah, it was a good match. It was just, for me, it was a bit too quick. I'd like to see them have more TV time.
Yeah, I would have liked it as well. I think that's the only thing. And you're right. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to prove by putting. I mean, they're having her as the Eradicate because she did do.
Do you reckon she's kind of the kind of like China kind of thing? She's that big. She just squashes everyone. There's no until someone comes on a pay-per-view, a bit like when Kane debuted, and everyone's like, Kane is the only man that can beat the Undertaker. Yeah, is someone coming back? Is someone coming up from NXT that will be like, oh my god, this woman is a match for Rhea Ripley?
The only one I can think of in NXT would be, and she's out injured at the moment, is Nikita Lyons. Because the other ones are like, you've got Roxanne Perez, who's quite small, but she's really, really good. Or you've got Breaker's Mrs. Cora Jade, but again, she's not big. Like, no, I don't mean that in a bad way in terms of big. I mean, Rhea's got a bit of size to her, whereas Cora Jade's a lot like. I mean, the only thing that's grown on Cora Jade in the last few weeks is her boobs, but that's another story.
Saw that on Twitter.
Yeah. So it's a bit like,
what did they? Does Trish have one last run?
Yeah, I'd give it. Why not?
Does she have a run and drop it at Mania? Put someone do the what they say they're doing the job,
time
like doing the over.
Isn't it? Or was it back
time on tradition? Does she do that? Does she somehow get the title before Mania and have one last run up until Mania? Trish would be a good. I'd like to Trish and Rhea. Trish proved last night that she still can go. She whitewashed that Mania and Lita, that whole thing. We last saw her have a real big match on a pay-per-view. I know she's had a few since then. Does Trish have a last run?
Why not?
Depends when they want to. Do they want to take the title off Rhea before Mania? That's the thing.
Think they will.
The thing is, they love that. Like, don't get me wrong. I know I love Charlotte Flair, but they really love Charlotte Flair. I'm surprised
but she's
not. Yeah, but dude, I don't. Yeah, but Rhea's been on. She's been on SmackDown and Raw.
I think NXT a week when I was in everything.
Exactly. So who knows? I mean, Bianca's still. I know she said she's taking a break. Does she come back into the mix? Does she have one team at Survivor Series? Does Rhea have a team? It's things they can do that potentially are going to be very good. But this is WWE. I hope they don't mess it up.
Me too. We had quite a funny backstage skit with Cena. He was kind of in the
costume. He looked like Pee Wee Herman.
I was literally about to say he looks like the late Pee Wee Herman. Interviewed the Judgment Day. It was quite a funny.
It was
skit.
funny.
And it's out. But now it's out there. Well, just after that was the main event, which was Seth and Nakamura. I loved it. Again, I loved this match as the main. It was a really good main event, pay-per-view quality style match. Seth with quite a unique way of hitting the stomp. He didn't do the proper stomp, did he?
No, literally just spam around, boom.
Nakamura was really working the back, really, obviously we know.
They sold the storyline well.
The storyline was so well. That's when I was kind of thinking, there's a bit of time left. Is Priest going to come out now? Because Seth was struggling to get up. It was kind of ripe for a cash in at that point in time, but he didn't. I know that he mentioned he was going to celebrate with the Judgment Day, but I kind of thought he was earing towards leaving the other way, which was maybe going towards the door. But I thought it was good. What you didn't see at the end, because if you notice, Nakamura slid out the ring quite quickly after.
Yes, I did notice. Yeah,
and he was on
a Samoa Joe on us.
Yes, he was on the outside of the ring for the majority of the rest of before the credits, or not credits, but before it went up and left. As Seth was being tended to and left with referees helping him to the back, Nakamura attacked him again.
So maybe a little cheeky rematch.
Potentially a rematch. Fastlane, but what did you think of the main event?
Loved it. Fantastic. Really, it summed up this whole show for me. I went in expecting shit and it was amazing. Really, really good main event. Like you say, a proper throwback, old school main event. They sold the storyline that they had built up to this main event for, which sometimes wrestling forget. They get to the actual point of the storytelling that they've been doing for the last 4 or 5 weeks and they completely fucking forget it. This was really good. It was an old school match. The finish was good. And like you say, obviously I didn't see the bit afterwards. Is that a rematch on Raw? Is that, maybe Seth's having a little break? They write him off TV because Nakamura's kicked the living bejesus out of him after the show. Who knows what's going to happen now? Again, they've got Seth in the tag team in India this Friday.
With Cena.
So it's obviously not there. So obviously they're going to set up maybe a rematch for Fastlane. Maybe obviously that's the next pay-per-view.
Could be.
I think it'll be
tonight.
I think it'll be Raw. I've got a funny feeling something will happen on Raw tonight. We'll know more by the time me and you sit down and Raw review tomorrow. I think we'll know more. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, mate. The whole show I thought was really, there wasn't, like you said, there was a few matches where you're like, but there wasn't one where we're going, fast forward, just skip to the end. Oh, there's the pin, boom. Like I've done that plenty of times, and sometimes I'm Raw, and I'm just like, this is awful. Just fast forward to the end, make my notes, and on. But solid show, mate. Honestly, WWE really pulled it out of the bag here. I think they knew they had to do something with all the hype around, obviously, AEW and Wembley, and all eyes are on wrestling again right now. It's kind of like that lead up to Mania.
They are, but not always.
They're not always for the right. That's geez. Social media's been fun today. And I watched Collision as well. And
speaking of funny things, did you see the Grayson Waller picture?
I did. Yeah, that he put on his with the Pepsi
and saying, "I was attacked. I was unbrokely attacked. Sack him."
He's not stupid, are they? I'm surprised WWE.
Apparently, it was talked quite a lot about backstage.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm not the ins and outs of it, but apparently it got spoke about by the talent, I think.
I can imagine talent everywhere right now is going to be talking about one thing and one thing only. But like I said on social media, wrestling it's survived this kind of thing before. It will survive it again. People have left, been fired, gone to WCW, come back to WWE. Taken their ball and went home. Bret Hart said he would never go on WWE TV again. His brother literally died. His brother literally died on WWE TV. So who knows, mate?
We'll see. It's been a crazy week.
It has. No, it's been a mental week to be a wrestling fan. I'm glad WWE pulled it out with Payback. Really, really good show. Let's just hope now that we sit here tonight, watch Raw, and it's good, and we have a good week of wrestling. It's going to be interesting to see what they do on Raw. It's going to be interesting to see what Dynamite does. Obviously, we've had it all out. We've got to get our review show out for All Out, so we can talk about that. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. There's a lot of people up in arms at the minute about CM Punk, but it's not the be all and end all. Wrestling's going to go on. It's going to be here. It was here long before you and I turned up. We're here long before we're gone. CM Punk's gone. Roman Reigns gone. God, you know what I mean? It's fine. Social media's been hilarious today.
It's been ridiculous over the weekend.
The end of the world. It's like one dude's lost his job. He'll probably be. I wouldn't be surprised if he rocks up on Impact. To be honest, there's a lot of talk of WWE. Wouldn't be surprised if he turns up on Impact and completely fucking ruins them as well. Probably. No, he's sort of CM Punk can sort his attitude out, mate. He'll be fine if he can bite his lip. I know he's not the lip biting kind of guy. But he done it for years and years in WWE, and eventually he snapped. But I think he'll be fine. But WWE, mate, they pulled it out of the bag with Payback. Really, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5, pushing a 9 out of 10. Really good.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to put 8.5, definitely top end of the 8.5, pushing a 9. Probably one of the best ones of the year. Pay-per-view wise anyway.
Yeah, and it was because it was so unexpected. We shit all over this card when we were talking about it, but we did caveat they have a tendency to do it.
And AEW do the same. So when we get to the All Out review, I'm sure we're probably going to be sitting here going,
really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, I mean, it was the only thing at the end of Payback, like you said. I'm glad you mentioned the after bit because the fans that didn't see the after bit, they usually leave their pay-per-views with, "Ooh, that's happening." This one, you just thought, oh, that feud's over. But then, obviously, you mentioned the Nakamura bit after the camera stopped rolling, the Peacock exclusive.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, we don't see that over here in good old England. But yeah, maybe tonight on Raw, rematch. Cody could somehow... They've got to get Cody involved in that title somehow. I can't see him waiting to Mania to go for Roman. We're all just assuming he's fighting Roman.
Yeah, no, yeah.
This is WWE. They might think, okay, well, the fans are thinking this. Curveball.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't be surprised. I'll tell you what, is a something. Yeah, this is a big curveball. Only because I think they want him to break the record. John Cena, World Heavyweight Champion, before he finishes the run. He only needs one more, doesn't he?
I know.
Break Flair's record.
Can he not beat Seth for that? Or does he have to beat Roman? Because he's won different championships, hasn't he? World championships. He's had both. No, not necessarily both as in Seth's, but
I've got you. Yeah, I've just got a funny feeling Cena has one more run and then does the over for someone. I know you're not going to want to hear it. They've done it. They've done it with The Rock at Rumble when he beat Punk.
Yeah, I know.
That got The Rock to face Cena at Mania and have a rematch for the year before. Cena gets the over. do not be surprised if John Cena has one more run.
I'm hoping if he does, it's on the other. It's on with the other title.
Yeah, wouldn't put it past WWE just to segue him to someone. A bit like they're doing with Rhea at the minute. Wouldn't be surprised if John Cena segues a title to another superstar. Don't be surprised. I mean, clip that and all.
Just checking. You clip that one as well. I'm doing more clips at the minute than anything else. I'm just having a Yeah, so he's been WWE champion 13 times and world heavyweight champion 3 times. So that's how they got the 16. So he
could take Seth's, yeah.
So take Seth's.
Is he exclusive to SmackDown,
He's
Cena?
not. He's just on SmackDown. Cena will just jump around.
Cena can go wherever they need some ratings, maybe. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. He's there for 7 weeks. That's going to take us all the way to the end of the year-ish. He's going to be involved in Survivor Series. He's going to be involved in next year's WrestleMania. Don't be surprised if John Cena's world heavyweight champion again.
Fantastic. You've ended this one on a high.
I know you don't want to hear it, bro, but yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Listen, I like John Cena more now.
There'll be a lot of people out there that do want to hear it. He's still fucking so popular. I don't like it when they call him the greatest of all time. That pisses me off. He's not the greatest of all time.
No, but I think he's the greatest in a generation. Probably be the case, potentially, arguably. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, we'll move on. But ads, it's been good reviewing Payback, mate. Solid show from WWE. As always, go and check us out on social media. You can find us on YouTube. That's doing really well. We thanks to everyone that is subscribing on the YouTube. Just type in the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Twitter at HTT Buckle, Instagram. You can search Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Same on TikTok and same on Facebook. Come and interact with us, comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. But I've been your host, Andy Burrows. That has been the amazing Adam Cousins. We will see you for our Monday Night Raw review really, really soon. Till then, everybody, buckle down. Stay safe.